Okay, so we're going to use substitution to solve this system of equations. And we have y equals negative 2x plus 14 and 2x plus 5y equals 22. Well, the good people at Agile Mind were nice enough to give us one where one equation has already been solved in terms of the other. So that one says y is equal to negative 2x plus 14. So wherever we see a y in the other equation, we can just plug that right into there. So we can take this right here, and we are going to put it in for the y right there. So let's start that. So 2x plus 5 times y. And since y is negative 2x plus 14 equals 22. Okay, you can see all I did was substitute y with negative 2x plus 14. And now I've got to do some distribution. And so my next step, well, that 2x here just comes straight on down. But what is positive 5 multiplied by negative 2x? Well, positive 5 times negative 2 is negative 10x. And then we multiply 5 times 14. Let's see, 5 times 14 is 70. And that equals 22. Okay, so all I've done is begin to solve this equation. Now I can combine my like terms. 2x and negative 10x is negative 8x. Make sure that you're writing this down in your book. Plus 70. Okay. And that equals 22. And now I have to continue to isolate my variable, I'm going to subtract 70 from both sides. And when I do that, let's see, 22 minus 70 is 48, negative 48. And these two cancel each other out, and so I have negative 8x. I divide both sides by negative 8. And those cancel each other out, leave me with, let's see, I've run out of room. X equals negative 48 divided by negative 8 will be positive 6. So now I know what X is. X is 6. Great. I've solved for one of the variables using my amazing algebraic skills. Okay. Well, now that we know what X is, okay, X equals 6. We're going to substitute that back into the other equation to find out how much y is. So we're going to take this equation right here and figure out what y is. What is the value of y? So y equals negative 2 times x, which is 6, plus 14. Okay, so negative 2 times 6 is negative 12 plus 14. And negative 12 plus 14, I've got 12 negatives and 14 positives. That's going to give me a positive 2. So now I've got x equals 6 and y equals 2. So that's going to give me my ordered pair, my answer of 6, comma 2. Now, will that work? Is that the right solution? You should always check to make sure. So if I put 6, 2 back into my original equation, does that work? Well, let's see. 2, let's see here, 2 equals negative 2 times 6 plus 14. Yeah, because that's negative 12 plus 14. Whoops. and negative 12 plus 14 equals 2. So that one works. And what about this equation here? Check, it has to work for both equations. So 2 times x is 2 times 12. I'm sorry, 2 times x, 2 times 6 equals 12. And then 5 times y, 5 times 2 is 10. Does that equal 22? Yeah. 12 plus 10 is 22. So yeah, it checks out. Both equations work out to be the right number. And here's our solution. 6, 2. 6, 2. Okay. Now, again, it's so great that they already solved the one equation for y. It's in slope-intercept form. And you can see that number 13 is the same way. They've given us the equation y equals 3x minus 12. So we know exactly how much y is. So we can substitute that y in the other equation with that expression. So 3x minus 12 is what y is. So I'm going to rewrite, excuse me, I'm going to rewrite this equation over here. 4x plus 4y. But remember what y is. Y is 3x minus 12. So 4 times 3x minus 12. And that's going to equal 20. Because this is how much y is. So now we have to distribute. So we'll distribute 4 into 3x and 4 into negative 12. So we'll multiply that through. But first, I'll just bring this 4x down here. And then 4 times 3x is 12x. And 4 times negative 12 is negative 48. And that equals 20 on the other side. Combine my like terms now. 4x and 12x gives us a total of 16x minus 48 equals 20. Perfect. Now we take we're going to add 48 to both sides to get all the constants on one side and all the variables and stuff on the other. So those two cancel each other out, and I am left with 16x on one side. And what is that? 68 on the other. Okay. And so now all I have to do is find the divide each side by 16. Now, at any time, if you see me making mistakes in my arithmetic, it does happen. I try not to let it happen, but, I start talking and I get involved and then, stuff goes awry. But I think I'm doing all right. Okay, so we divide 16 by 16 and those two cancel out. But what is 68 divided by 16? Well, let's find out. 68 divided by 16. It's not an even number, and that's okay. X is 4.25. 4 1/4. All right, great. Now, all I have to do is, now that I found how much X is, right? That's a good thing. I know exactly what X is. So I can take that X and put it back into my other equation. This one, the top one, because now we want to find out how much Y is. So now we take Y equals 3, because it says Y equals 3x minus 12. Well, we know what X is now. So it's 3 times 4.25 minus 12. All we did was substitute X with 4.25. So 4.25 times 3 is 12.75. Minus 12. And 12.75 minus 12 is 0.75. 0.75. And that's what y is. So we have found what x is, we have found what y is. And so now we can write them as an ordered pair for our answer. The ordered pair of 4.25 and 0.75. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go back and check this one because I'm fairly certain that what I've done is correct. But if you want to make sure your answer is correct, you go back in and you substitute the values of x and y into both equations to make sure that they are true equations after you've substituted. So there's substitution happening all over the place. Now we have this one. And you know how these last two questions, they have given us the values of something, right? They gave us how much y is. And that was nice because we could just start right there. But you can see in this one, they did not do that. They weren't as courteous with this one. They have x minus 1/4 y equals 9. So in order to solve this one, we're going to have to, first of all, solve for one of our variables. And if I'm being honest, I think the easiest one to solve for would be to solve for x. So I'm going to go over here. And because this is x minus 1/4 y equals 9. If I add 1/4 y to both sides, then these cancel each other out on that side, telling me that x is 9 plus 1/4 y. Now I've solved for one variable in terms of the other. Okay, so this tells us that x is equal to 9 plus 1/4 y. So now what I can do is I can take this value right here and substitute it for x in my other equation. So that equation then becomes -4 multiplied by 9 plus 1/4 y plus 2y equals -32. Now I have to distribute my -4 into this quantity right here. So -4 times 9 is -36. -4 times 1/4 is -1. -1 times y is just -y. And then plus 2y. And that equals -32. Remember, at any time, if you have a question, all you got to do is stop me with a question mark in the chat. Okay, well, we can combine like terms now. So we have -36 and -y plus 2y. Well, that's just y. And that equals -32. Now I'm going to add 36 to both sides, because those will cancel each other out and leave me with y equals -32 plus 36 is 4. Well, now I know how much y is. All right, y is 4. So all I have to do now is take that y and put it back into this equation over here to find out how much x is. Let me get rid of this arrow here. Okay. So x is equal to 9 plus 1/4 times y, and y is 4. So there we go. X is equal to 9 plus, what is 1/4 times 4? Well, it's 1. And so 9 plus 1 is 10. So x is equal to 10. We have found our two values. X is 10 and y is 4. So we can write our system of equations solution as an ordered pair. X is 10 and y is 4. And I can go back in, and to make sure that that's true, I could go back in and substitute x and y into both of my equations to make sure that what I've got is the real solution to this. So remember, your solution to a system of equations will be an ordered pair in x, y order. Okay? Do you have any questions for me? If not, just be sure that before the end of the day, there will be an assignment on topic 13, block 1, coming into Teams for you, and it'll be due in the next couple of days. So please make sure that you look for it and work on it, because there will be more questions. Now, question 15 is the last question on this, and we aren't going to worry about it. You can use a graph. I mean, you can use a graph and see if that works out for you, but that's optional. You can always use a graph to see if your solution is true or not. But solving by substitution requires good algebra skills. So make sure that you're putting those skills to good use.